Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Learn and Heal. Today we are going to discuss a new topic from the subject assessment of learning. What is assessment for learning? We know the process of education is continuing for a long period for an individual. It is very important that in each and every step of the individual's growth, we should analyze or understand how the student is improving, how the performance of the student is going on, whether it is progressing or it is staying as such, whether he is not making any progress. So this evaluation, this analysis is very important in the process of education. So this subject is talking about the approach of teaching that creates feedback that is used to improve the performance of student as well as the teaching methods. So in this we are going to start with the first chapter. The first chapter name is Basics of Assessment. So just we'll start with the syllabus first. What is the syllabus of this chapter? Let us take a quick look on this. We'll discuss about the meaning and definition, role of assessment in learning, formative and summative assessment, purpose of assessment, and we'll be discussing about the principles of assessment practices, then principles related to selection of methods of assessment, collection of assessment information, judging and scoring of students' performance, summarization and interpretation of results, and reporting of assessment findings. These are the syllabus of the chapter in a nutshell. And moving to the introduction, teaching only will not be enough for an education process to continue successfully. It is necessary to access the progress achieved by the student. May his hard work or teacher's effort will be the reason for the improvement of the child, that you should be analyzing all the time. So it is necessary to access the progress achieved by the student. It is maybe by self effort of the child he is getting the improvement, as well as there's a possibility he is getting the improvement because of the teacher's classroom training. So the very much important term is evaluation. You have to evaluate what is happening in the classroom. So maybe sometimes some teachers will be thinking that I'm a better teacher, I don't know whether they are understanding or not, but I teach very properly, I know everything. But a teacher could not say like that, because teacher is the one who impart knowledge into the kids. So you should be able to analyze whether the things what I am teaching, whether it will be correctly delivered to the student. That is the purpose of teaching. And in this part we'll be discussing about three major important terminologies that is needed for the assessment of learning. The first one is measurement, second one is assessment, and the third one is evaluation. We'll be looking at all this one by one. First, we'll be talking about the meaning and definition of measurement. Measurement is used to access the physical characteristics and a man's external features. This can be a quality or attribute like weight, height, age, intelligence, speed, volume, length, etc. If we express how much a particular quality or attribute is present in a event or a person, usually will be using the help of numerical for that. A numerical value is assigned for expressing how much a particular quantity or quality or attribute is present in an event or a person. Suppose you are having a basket full of fruits. Just imagine there are 10 apples, 5 oranges, and total 20 fruits in that. This counting is what we are calling it as enumeration. If someone asks the weight of the basket and we will be weighing it and find that it is of 3 kg. So it was not the count, it was the weight. Imagine if someone asks the weight of the basket instead of the number of apple or oranges or the number of fruits, and we are weighing this and we are finding out that okay, it is of 3 kg of weight. So now we measure the weight, but now we are not taking the count cannot give you the weight, right? So when we are trying to answer the question of how much actually we are dealing with the measurement, example, how much is the area of cross section, how much is the pressure you have to apply. So these are the how much question. When the question is about how much, obviously we are taking the measurements. We'll look at some of the important definitions of measurement. James M. Broadfield defined measurement as assigning numerical values to object, person, or events. Simple as that. Assigning numerical values to object, person, or events. According to Glass and Stanley, the measurement is something else. The assigning of numbers to things according to the rules. There are certain specific rules. So the assigning of numbers to things according to the rules is what we are calling it as measurement, according to Glass and Stanley. And according to Michael and Carnes, measurement of any kind is a matter determining how much or how little, how great or how small, how much more than, how much less than. So that comparison is what, according to Michael and Carnes, the measurement is. Then if we go about the types of measurement, basically we can classify that into 3 types. One is direct. Direct measurement is like we are directly measured directly by appropriate tool or device. Like we can measure the height, weight, everything we are measuring directly. Then the other type is indirect method. Indirect method, we are measuring through the effect they produce. For example, the measurement of hot or cold, sound or light. It is measured through the effect they produce. Then the next one is relative. Measured by comparison with those of peers. Like we can say that relative measurement is obtained through comparison. We can compare the intelligence of an individual with that of the other individual. So relative measurement is measured by comparing with those of peers. These are the 3 types of measurement: direct, indirect, and relative. So why measurement is needed in the education? We can able to get an idea about the improvement of the child by looking at their mark sheet. In education, students' progress is measured in terms of the marks or grades, or teacher effectiveness is measured as improvement and modification of the behavior in his or her students. Then we'll be talking about assessment. Meaning of assessment. Let us take a look at the meaning of assessment first. Attributes or traits like singing, beauty, dancing, honesty, etc. cannot be measured accurately, right? We cannot measure this one. But we could assess these qualities by using tools and techniques like observation and test. Such kind of quality judgment, it's not about the quantity, it is a quality judgment. Such kind of quality judgment is what we are calling it as assessment. Let us see the definition of assessment. Assessment is the process of objectively understanding the state or condition of a thing by observation, measurement, and test. So assessment, we are assessing the progress. How? By observation, measurement, and test. If you talk about the educational assessment, it is a process of documenting usually measurable terms like the skill, knowledge, attitude, and belief of the child. Assessment can focus on individual learner, the learning community, or education system as a whole. So assessment can focus on the individual student or a classroom as a whole, or what we can assess how the education system is performing. All this can be done through the process of assessment. And we'll be dealing about the definition. As I always said you, assessment is the process of objectively understanding the state or condition of a thing by observation, measurement, and test. According to Fenton, assessment is the collection of relevant information. This assessment of teaching means measuring the effectiveness. We can classify that into two types, like formative assessment and summative assessment. Let us take a quick look at this. What is this formative and summative assessment? We'll be studying in details in the coming lectures. Formative assessment is a measurement for the purpose of improving it. So you are measuring in a frequent interval the ability of the student or the capacity of the student. So regularly you can give the advice and you can try to improve that. There's a chance for improvement. You can say that formative assessment is an assessment made at different stages of growth. But summative assessment is not like that. It is what we call normally as evaluation. After everything got carried out, then we will be evaluating. That is summative assessment. Assessment carried out at the end of the process or activity is what we are calling as summative assessment. We'll be studying that in detail, I told you. Assessment of learning focus on the opportunities to develop students' ability to evaluate themselves, to make judgment about their own performance and improve upon it. And we'll be moving to evaluation. What is evaluation? Evaluation is nothing but measurement and judgment. So measurement and judgment together we'll call as evaluation. It is a process of observing, measuring and testing a thing for the purpose of judging it and of determining its value either by comparison to similar things or to a standard. And you can get the clear idea about what is the difference between this measurement and evaluation. Measurements tell you how much, and evaluation tells what value or actually what is the worth of that particular thing or object or activity. Simply we can say that measurements tells you about the quantity and evaluation gives you idea about the quality. That is the major difference between measurement and evaluation. We measure or evaluate characteristics or properties of people, their scholastic potential, their knowledge of algebra, honesty, perseverance and ability to teach, etc. All these things will be measuring or evaluating. And if we look at the definition of evaluation, we can see the definition like this. It is a process of determining the value of a thing or a process based on the assessment of its different aspects by employing observation, measurement and test. Evaluation includes the process of assessment as well as the tools and methods of measurements. All these three things, the evaluation, measurement and assessment, is needed to assess the progress of a child. That's it for the session. We'll be meeting with another lecture. Thank you very much.